Good morning and welcome to today's Sports Brief. I'm Gerhard Mathangani. We are just hours away from the start of week 4 of the high school football season. And with a new week comes new polls from the Alabama Sports Writers Association. Now, there's no changes at the top of the rankings from Class 1A all the way to 7A, but there is movement in between. Class 7A, Thompson, with 21 first place votes, is at number 1. Hewitt-Trussville and Hoover remain in the top 3. Central Phoenix City moves up 2 spots to number 6. Undefeated Oak Mountain in the poll for the first time at number 9, and Daphne is 10th. Class 6A, Mountain Brook holds the top spot, followed by Oxford, Blunt, Pinson Valley, and Clay Chalkville in your top 5. Meanwhile, Coleman moves up to number 9, and McGill-Tulane is in the rankings at number 10. Defending state champion Central Clay County holds the number 1 spot in Class 5A. St. Paul's, Ramsey, Pleasant Grove, and Faith Academy remain in the top 5. Meanwhile, Pike Road and Demopolis are both up 1 spot, and UMS Wright falls to number 10 after losing to St. Paul's. In Class 4A, American Christian maintains the number 1 position. Bibb County, Gordo, Madison County, and Madison Academy round out the top 5. Meanwhile, Jacksonville is in at number 7. Etowah is 8th. Viger drops down all the way from number 2 down to number 9 after losing to Jackson. Defending state champion Piedmont holds the number 1 spot in Class 3A, followed by Fife and Welborn in the top 3. Everyone else remains the same from last week except for Bayside Academy and Montgomery Academy, who make their debuts in the rankings at number 9 and number 10 respectively. The 2A polls are headed up by Leroy once again. Randolph County is 2nd, followed by Mars Hill Bible up from Class 1A. They rank number 3. The only change here is at the bottom. Ayrton is out and North Sand Mountain climbs into the rankings at number 10. And in Class 1A, Brantley leads the way at number 1. Linden, Sweetwater, Maplesville, and Nottasulga in the top 5. Winterboro is 9th, and Florala makes their debut in the poll at number 10. Week 4 of the season begins right here on WOTM. The AHSAA Game of the Week features Shades Valley and Mountain Brook tonight. Spartans head coach Chris Yeager spoke with our John Holder on AHSAA Weekly and discussed what makes his 4-0 and top-ranked club so special this season.
Coach, I know a lot of folks around the state will be anxious to tune in and look at your football team and see Mountain Brook. What can they expect from this edition of the Mountain Brook Spartans?
We have a lot of players returning from last year, and I think that's why there's, the expectations are pretty high for our team. And, I feel like, the fact that we're ranked number 1, it says, I think it's sort of tipping the hat to the reputation maybe of our program and the players that have come through our program. But this team, has got a lot to prove, and we've told our players that. We are multiple on both sides of the ball, and we usually take, the players that we have, and we try to identify what they can do best and sort of shape and mold our offense based on what players can do. And so, that's what we have done. And so that makes it multiple. We have to use a lot of different packages, and we have to use a lot of different personnel, a lot of different ways. And so it makes it fun for us. It's the football version, I guess, of Moneyball sometimes.
Catch all the action right here on WOTM. Kickoff tonight at 7 o'clock. Moving up to college football, the big news is the announcement that the Big Ten has officially decided to play football this fall. Now, the league was the first of the Power 5 conferences to cancel fall sports, and that was just over a month ago. That decision was shortly followed by the Pac-12's decision. Now, the Big Ten does say they will move forward with daily testing for players, coaches, and staff. A formal schedule will be released soon, but the first games are set to start October 23rd and 24th. Each team will attempt to play 8 conference games, with the Big Ten Championship game set for December 19th. Meanwhile, the SEC will get started with games a week from Saturday. Alabama is set to face Missouri on the road for the first of its 10 conference games. The Tide head coach Nick Saban says it is important to shift the focus as competition sits just around the corner.
I think that's something that the players have to get in their sights, that we have a game coming up. We're not just practicing to practice, and they've got to change their mindset. And with that changes, sense of urgency, immediacy, playing smart, getting things in meetings and be able to take it to the field, and getting your mind right so that you're ready to compete and play a game.
The Tide and Missouri Tigers square off next Saturday, 6 p.m. in Columbia. Meanwhile, great news for college basketball. The NCAA Division I Council has approved a start date for the upcoming season. The men's and women's basketball teams around the country can start regular season games as early as November 25th. This date coincides with the Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Meanwhile, teams can play a maximum of 25 regular season games, and teams can begin full practices on October 14th. Now, the NCAA is still planning to hold its regular March Madness basketball tournaments, 68 teams at 14 locations. And finally, the 120th U.S. Open at Winged Foot in Westchester, New York will begin today. Players got the chance to hit the course for some practice right before the start of the major championship. Former Alabama star Justin Thomas is paired with Tiger Woods. They'll tee off at 7 o'clock this morning. Meanwhile, former JSU star Danny Willett will tee off at 6:45, and fellow Gamecock Matt Wallace at 6:25. The number one player in the world, Dustin Johnson, will begin his round at 12:15. And that is your sports brief. Our program continues after this.